So yesterday during the Ask Junior portion of Dale Jr.'s podcast, a couple questions came up regarding the progress of NASCAR 25, and we got some pretty interesting information apparently. So I wanted to watch that with you guys, break down what he's kind of talking about, and see what we're in store for the upcoming release of this game on October 14th. Now, like many of you guys, we've been waiting very patiently for a game to come out in recent years. We had NASCAR Ignition that came out a few years ago. It was absolutely terrible. Before that, we had the Heat games, which were actually pretty good, and I really enjoyed the Heat games. But we just been without a NASCAR game, unless you're playing the old Heat games or playing on iRacing, for several years now. It's been insane that this IP is just sitting there without anybody working on it. But then in comes Monster Games working with iRacing, and we have NASCAR 25 being released on October 14th. So a couple of quick tidbits before we jump into the video and see what Dale Jr. is talking about, what he breaks down in this video. So we have the date that was released, October 14th, for when this game is going to be coming out. We do know that it's being developed on the Unreal Engine. Thank God. Get rid of the Unity engine, please. Unreal Engine is an absolute killer, so that's awesome. We know it's releasing on PC at a later date via Steam. It's not coming out launch day on PC. There's not going to be any Nintendo Switch support at all. We do have 4 series. So before we had this Dirt series that you would race up through, and then you go into Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. This time around, we're going to get the ARCA series as that entry series. I do like this change. I feel like starting off on asphalt, starting off not on dirt is more appealing to the majority of the fan base. For NASCAR games in general, it translates better for whenever you jump into trucks. But I would like to see in the future, you have different avenues or different branches that you could take in your journey to the Cup Series. So maybe you start off like running midgets and then running the ARCA series and up to the trucks. Then maybe on the other end, you run Dirt series. You know, you run maybe World of Outlaws or, you know, go-karts, little guys before that. So you have different avenues to go through before you go up to the Cup Series. That's a wish list item that I'd love to see in future games, but I'm really stoked about ARCA though. Really stoked about that. We're still waiting on gameplay. Junior comments on this apparently in this video that he wishes that he would have, you know, snuck some gameplay and posted it. Really, what are they going to do to Junior if he was to post any of that? He did help curate the soundtrack, which I'm really excited for in the past. Really, since I love the soundtrack from the EA games. We had some metal in there, not really so much rap, a little bit of country, but I feel like it was more diverse. And it was, to me, more catered to what NASCAR, the average NASCAR fan actually listens to. You know, there's a stigma that all NASCAR fans just listen to country music, and that's really it. But that's just not the case. Like, we like our Three Doors Down. We like our Breaking Benjamins. Shout out to NASCAR 2007. We like our Nickelbacks. I said it. Things like that. Now, me personally, my music range is all over the place. I love it. We saw from the clip, we had some rap in there as well. I love it. Bring it on. I want to give me a wide range of stuff to have on the soundtrack. You always have the ability to go into the options menu and toggle on and off the ones that you do or do not want to listen to. Everybody's happy. I love it. I love that that came out, and he showed us a little sneak peek of that as well. We do have confirmed that DLC will be coming out at a later date throughout end of this year and next year in the form of paint schemes. That's pretty standard as far as these games go, as well as the custom paint booth. Obviously, it's a great addition. In times past, we haven't had a paint booth. There's a lot of talented people out there that can make incredible paint schemes that look damn near identical to the real world paint schemes that we get. It's cool seeing people do that to integrate in the retro paint schemes. Super stoked about that. There's not going to be a silly season in most motorsports games that we have in the off season. The game will go through, you'll see drivers leave teams, get recruited by other teams. You'll see fantasy drivers come up through the lower ranks. That's not going to be a thing. Now, we've had this for 20 plus years in NASCAR games. It's not going to be the case initially in this game, but they are open to that in future iterations. There will not be any local multiplayer at the launch of this game, so no split screen. The multiplayer will not have cross-platform at launch. That does make sense. PC is getting a later release date than what we're getting on console, so it makes sense that PC is not going to have the cross-platform ability to race with console. It's already getting pushed back a little bit anyway, so they said it is going to happen eventually. Cool with that, whatever. It's not going to make or break it. We're going to have plenty of people on console playing this game, so I'm sure there's going to be plenty full lobbies for people to jump into. Talking about that, and this is a feature that I'm really excited about, you're going to have the ability to integrate AI drivers into these online lobbies. A lot of times I would be in leagues back in the Dizzy and say a lot of people don't show up and you just have 8 to 10 drivers in these lobbies. Now you can make a full lobby with and add an additional 30 cars up to a 40 car field to really have that fullness feel of these lobbies. And I'm sure a lot of people will utilize that to their advantage to pull BS cautions and stuff like that. We'll see how these different leagues operate, but personally for my league, I'm excited about that. And with that being said, also, you will be able to have the ability to have private lobbies. One thing that is a bummer for the esports part of things, and again, I would love to run a esports portion as well, have my own league that I can broadcast over. We're not going to have the ability to have a dedicated spectator mode at launch. Now, they are fully aware this is a thing that people want. It's iRacing. They already have an iRacing league right now, and that is a huge part of it. We have a broadcast team that spectates the race using these different camera angles. So it's going to come. Probably the next game, they say it's going to be in future iterations, not necessarily in this game as a DLC. So that is most everything we know so far. I'm not going to bore you guys with going in and listing out all the drivers listings for each series because there's over 150. You guys can look at that on their site. Pretty much if you watch NASCAR, who's on the track every week, that's who's in the game. Imagine that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Dale Jr. podcast part of this episode and see what he has to say.
This next question is from Kevin, who wants to know what was it like being able to finally play NASCAR 15, and they also saw
25.
Sorry, I'm 10 years off. NASCAR 25. What was it like to play NASCAR 25 finally, and how hard was it to narrow down the soundtrack? Because I saw you were talking about that on X.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation on social media. The game is going to be great, and people are wanting to see some gameplay. And I should have recorded it because I'm one of the guys I think could get away with posting some real game, some actual.
We just talked about that.
I should have.
You should.
I don't know why I didn't. But it's there's still some work to do, and it's not finished.
Yeah,
there's still some work to do, and I know they got a release date in October, but the team's working extremely hard to get everything wrapped up and done. There will be a lot of Dale Jr. download in the career mode.
Mm-hmm.
So me and TJ recorded about 30 or 45 different scenarios that can play out for a driver, hiring a new crew chief or losing somebody important on their team, like an engineer, or gaining a new sponsor, or getting themselves into trouble or whatever. And so, when this scenario sort of happens, or you choose this route, you'll hear from us and what we think.
Touch on that really quick. So backing up a little bit, he said, they still have some things they need to work on. Reason why we haven't seen gameplay. I wouldn't say it's concerning that we haven't seen it. We're a little over 2 months out from getting this game. Usually by this time we've seen something, but I do have full confidence that this team knows what they're doing. They've been working on this game for some time now. They already had a lot of the assets in place, feeling confident that this game's going to be good. And we have heard the feedback from other drivers that have played this game. And we saw one from Christopher Bell, I believe today or yesterday, saying that it felt amazing and the game was awesome. Now, talking about how the Dale Jr. download is going to be integrated into the game, that's very interesting. So I really can't think of a lot of games out there that have this podcast, social media integration into the game from a real world team where, say for instance, we move up into the Xfinity series. They could potentially have a segment on their podcast where it's kind of a cutscene. You go back to the menu after you finished a race or you sign your contract, and they're like, wow, man, look at that. They finally, after all these years of working, they finally got to deal with the Xfinity team. Of course, they're not going to be able to use your name and stuff like that. They have to keep it very generic so that it can be used for everybody. But I really think this is a really cool integration. Obviously, Dale Jr. is a huge part of the NASCAR community as well as the iRacing community. And just his willingness to do this to help make the game better, which it will make the game better, will be absolutely incredible. I really love this integration. I am surprised to hear how many clips they actually did. That's really a lot of clips, 30 to 45 clips. I'm pretty stoked about that.
About it. The soundtrack was and there's some driver ratings. I know some people saw that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, as far as I know, it's literally just fixed ratings. I don't know that you'll be able to adjust them, but you can literally go in there
Madden.
and look at their drivers and what they're great at, and I think it'll create a lot of great conversation around how drivers are ranked. You know how the players in the NFL kind of take it personal with the Madden ratings.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to create some
Shout out to Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and the Dolphins.
And so there'll be some disagreement for sure. And with the soundtrack, this was something that I was really heavily involved in. I offered up some ideas on songs that we could include. We had a budget. The featured song that will be on the game is System of a Down. And
really,
we actually had to write a letter to their team to tell them about the project. They didn't know what the project was, but they didn't know what we were asking them and why we wanted to use the song. So I had to kind of spell it out for them and say, man, this is going to be awesome to hear this song. The first thing you hear in the menu would be this song. Now, then the other songs will shuffle through. And
I'm sorry. I cannot believe that. System of a First off, I'm a huge System of a Down fan, have been for years. I love them. Opening up NASCAR 25 and hearing a System of a Down song playing, I can only imagine what it's probably going to be. That's probably going to be one of their bigger hits, like Toxicity or BYOB, something like that. Although I love to go deeper into like their Mesmerize album and pull a song from that list. But I was expecting more like a Breaking Benjamin, Three Doors Down. This is a little bit more toned up than I was expecting, but I'm a huge fan of that. Shout out to Junior for reaching out to their team and making this happen.
This song that we chose is
Tell us.
an idea of somebody internally with iRacing. It wasn't a song that I proposed. It was something that came from within the staff and employees at iRacing. There's a lot of songs there's 27 different artists, so assuming 27 different songs. And if we tried to, have a lot of different genres represented.
Good.
Rap, rock, country, a little bit of history and nostalgia and mixed in as well. I did learn that when you go to buy the license or secure the license from a song that has a lot of samples in it, which a lot of rap has a lot of samples, you have to pay almost twice because you have to pay for the rights of the rap song that's created, and you have to pay the talent and the publishing company. But you also have to go and secure the rights to the original sampled music.
Yeah,
so
makes
it's
sense.
super hard because everybody's got to say yes, and some of them argue over the percentage of what they think they should get versus the other parties involved. So getting songs with samples in them was really, really tough. There were a couple songs that I wanted that we didn't get. One of those was Stuntin' Like My Daddy. I wanted that in there.
So good.
I love that song. I like Lil Wayne.
Dude, that would have been
one
killer.
of my favorites from him. But we couldn't get it. We have to use the clean versions. And basically that kind of omitted all of the song. so like, yeah. When we got the clean version of Stunt Like My Daddy, it was a lot of gaps.
Super fair.
What'd you think of the gameplay? How did it drive?
Here we go.
It drives pretty good. I drove a little race, and the career mode's pretty cool. How you jump into the career mode, and you gotta sort of the career mode reminded me a little bit of the introduction to the career mode reminded me a little bit of like the Gong Show that Roush did.
Yeah.
Where they had all these drivers come try to prove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we do is we plop you into this ARCA race at Rockingham, and you've got to achieve a certain result to get your career going. So it's kind of like, hey man, you're a local short track guy and you're getting this chance to run this ARCA car, and you need to improve and impress.
That's tough. Going to Rockingham. Now, in games past, obviously we haven't seen this in a NASCAR game in years. But in the past, back especially when everyone was worn out, Rockingham's tricky, man. It's one of the more tricky tracks on the circuit. It's very challenging for sure. Yeah, both ends of the corners drive very differently, similar to like a Darlington. It's a very challenging track. So the fact that that's going to be your intro track for the ARCA series is definitely make or break. I like that for sure. You have to go in, kind of try out, see how you do, and maybe that determines what level team you get signed to. That's what they've done in games past, at least. So be curious how that goes. But Rockingham's definitely tricky.
Continue your career.
Duggar will love that. He loves Rockingham.
Yeah.
I think it's also cool that there's certain Xfinity drivers, like you can race as Ross or SVG in the Xfinity series. Like that's a cool added detail.
As you should. They race in the Xfinity series.
It makes me mad that I didn't run an Xfinity race this year so I could be a car in the game.
I know.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Yeah.
I go start and park an ARCA race. Maybe I can get into the ARCA field.
Yeah. Well, I saw Cletus is in the ARCA field, which is pretty awesome. I know I saw a lot of people were excited about that.
Yeah, I texted him and asked him if he would want to be in the game and if he mind being in the game. But yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see how all this comes together and how it's a lot of work behind the scenes to secure all the cars and all the people's approval, and everybody's, everybody wants to be involved, but it's a lot of legal involved too. Yeah,
sure. Well, I can't wait, and I appreciate the update, and I'm sure we're going to see some more and maybe some gameplay soon.
So that is interesting to hear that from Junior for sure. We know that he is very deeply ingrained in the game right now. You can tell he's really wanting to share some gameplay with us here soon. It is cool insight regarding the soundtrack. We have heard also about, if you have a crew chief and engineer, that you will be able to hire and fire those, or they will drop off your team as well. We have seen that in games past where you could assign to your team different positions. And one thing about that is interesting, I don't think it's been confirmed yet that you could sign to other teams like an HMS or a JGR or a Trackhouse, things like that. It's just you're going to have your own team. So I don't know if it's possible for you to go out there and recruit a crew chief from like an Alan Gustafson, recruit one of them to come join your team, or if it's just going to be fantasy crew chiefs and engineers, or can you go and poach somebody else from a different team? I would love to see that. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but we have gotten confirmation that changing around different elements of your team, including personnel, is going to be a part of it, which to me, that's a huge deal. I want to be as deeply ingrained into this as I can, not just a gloss over, very macro-y version of it where it's just engine department do this, okay, personnel do this. I want to determine who I'm going to bring in, what are their strengths, their weaknesses. If I'm struggling on road courses, I want to bring in a crew chief that is pretty good at a road course that can help me out with that in whatever way, whether it's the initial setup that you have going into a track, which equals to better grip or something along those lines, would be cool to have. So let me know what you guys are thinking so far about the game. Here lately, we are starting to get more information almost weekly now regarding the game. We do have the full driver roster. I'm expecting we're going to see gameplay here in the next couple of weeks, I would assume. We really need it at this point. If we start getting within a month outside of the release of this game, I will start to have some concerns for sure, because at that point the game should be pretty much wrapped up, besides some fine-tuning here and there, so we should be able to have gameplay. So I would expect some kind of developer stream showing a long format version of gameplay. Maybe not initially. There'll probably be some clips initially, but after that I would expect to see that in some kind of longer form. But let me know what you guys are thinking so far in the game. What are the positives that you're seeing? Are there any concerns that you're having that we're almost 2 months out and haven't seen gameplay yet? And what do you think about the soundtrack choices as well? The opening song for the game is going to be a System of a Down song. Hell yeah. Super stoked about that. But all in all, I think it is a huge positive. We haven't had a game in years. So this is best case scenario for the NASCAR brand that iRacing decided to take it over. We know that they're going to keep this for years to come. They're going to do a great job with it, as they have with NASCAR for many years now on their iRacing platform. And of course, the World of Outlaws game is absolutely incredible as well. They've done a great job with that. So it's in good hands. This is going to be the first game. I'm not expecting heaven and earth to be in this game and it just be absolutely perfect. There are going to be features that aren't going to be in the game initially that they are addressing. They're very plugged into the esports community. They know what the people want and they do listen. We've seen that in the past. So I have all the confidence they're going to make this game great in the future for sure. But I want to hear your guys' opinion on it. So let me know down in the comments below what you're thinking about the game so far. Thank you guys for checking out this video on this lovely Wednesday. Glad we could do a little bit of reaction here with the Dale Jr. download. I like to do more things like that in the future, listening to different drivers' opinions and stuff and doing some hot takes on that. It is very interesting. There is some really great content out there podcast wise. But thank you all for watching so much, and I'll see you on the next one.